Alright, last weekend I made liver and onions with a marsala mushroom wine sauce and posted pictures of it on Facebook, and my sister Denise called me the next day and told me she had to have that recipe. So I figured I would make it for her and show her how it's done. Start off with, you can't have onions and mushroom, liver without onion. And I like a lot of onion. What I got here is two large onions, kind of julienne cut. We're also going to need the liver, which we have, back off a little bit, which we have cut into bite-sized pieces. Just dredged in some flour with some salt and pepper. Always kosher in my house, and freshly cracked pepper. Here we have 2 cloves of garlic. Usually I would use 4 cloves of garlic, but these babies here are huge, so I'm only going to use 2 of those. And we have some chopped shallots, 2 of those, and some sliced up baby portobello mushrooms. I sliced up about 5 of them, about that size. For the sauce, we're also going to need a cup of marsala wine. We're using Taylor's Marsala. It's a dry wine, about 17% alcohol, but the alcohol will get cooked out of it. Half a cup of heavy cream and 6 tablespoons of butter. In the pan, I have about 2 to 3 tablespoons of canola oil, because canola's got a high smoke factor. It doesn't burn too easily, and I'm using my 12-inch cast iron pan. You don't have to use cast iron, it's my preference. But I'm going to hand the camera over to Denise and let her video this while I show you how to make it. And as I've said before, we're going to stir fry these onions, and it ain't stir fry if it ain't smoking hot. Let's go ahead and start off with the onions in the pan. Oh no, my onions are running away. Add a little bit of kosher salt to that. A little bit of cracked pepper. Not too much, but just hot. Pepper may burn on you anyway. Oh, that already smells good. You're not too close to that, are you?
I've got the pan.
You got just the pan in there?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, they're browning, they're caramelizing a little bit. Ooh, that makes them so good. Kind of wish the camera had a pause button on it. We could go ahead and finish up these onions and then move on to the next stage.
Yep, it won't let you.
Nope.
At least we haven't found it on this yet. Come on. You can always tell people the fun facts.
Fun facts?
About the liver. What's in it?
Liver? What about making it something that you eat occasionally and not too frequently, because you can OD on vitamin A from liver?
Yep.
Liver does have a very high, like what is it, 860% of your recommended daily allowance of vitamin A. And vitamin A is one of those vitamins that you can get an overdose on. It can be harmful to you. But liver is also pretty high in all of your vitamin B complexes. I think vitamin B12 was, what was it, 1,600% of your daily allowance of vitamin B12?
1,083.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah. Percent.
Yeah, percent of your daily allowance. So
And it had your 6 and your...
So it is nutritional, but you gotta watch that vitamin A.
It's also got iron.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and vitamin C.
Yep,
and
vitamin C.
And vitamin D. The liver is good for you, but it's one of those things that, you know, moderation because of the vitamin A. There has been people who eat polar bear liver, husky liver, living up north, that have actually died from the vitamin A overdoses.
Because that's all they eat.
Yeah, that's all they eat.
But once a month should be good for liver.
Well, even once a week ain't gonna hurt you, I don't think.
I don't know. But not more than that, that's for sure.
Well, the onions are looking good. They're smelling good too. One of the things I like about using cast iron too is once you get your pan hot, that thick steel cast iron, it retains its heat. Does a really good job of retaining its heat. So that whenever you throw your food in it, it doesn't cool everything down and you have to warm it back up.
I didn't realize, but I do not have steady hands.
Well, you can do the best you can do. We're not professionals here anyway.
Onions are looking good.
Yeah, they are.
Can't tell
Taking
unless...
a little bit longer to cook than I hoped for, but...
We had a lot more this time, I think.
Love the onions.
Oh, yeah.
I feel sorry for people who don't eat onions.
Oh, yeah, especially if they're caramelized and... So once they get done...
Yeah, well, the onions are looking pretty good here, actually.
Yeah, I think they're about done.
I don't want to totally caramelize them, or they just turn into mushy strings, and that ain't good. Oh, we got the onions done, and if I can do this without burning Denise, I'm just going to take the onions out of the pan. Put them onto a
Escapee.
plate for them. You know, them onions only look good. All right, we're gonna set them aside for right now, and then we're gonna take our liver. And the pan's still hot. It's still relatively greased up, but you know what?
Add just a little bit.
Yeah, we can add just a little bit more oil to it.
About a tablespoon or so.
Yeah, you know, about that much.
You know you hate when people do that to you on those stupid videos.
Okay, and then goes the liver. Now, liver typically cooks up pretty quickly. We'll have this cooked up here in
maybe 4 minutes.
maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. Make sure our pan stays good and hot. Another thing about cast iron is the entire pan gets hot, including the handle. So you need a glove or something to pick it up with.
That's the downfall. But we saw a commercial for one that had a handle that was a normal handle that kept
Yeah,
cool.
but you can't use that in the oven. See, cast iron can
Right.
go from the stove top right into the oven. Good for whenever you're making like filet mignons or something like that.
Yeah.
Sear them in the pan.
I guess if you're
stove top,
just
stick them in the oven to finish them up.
Well, I was just thinking that one pan would be good if you're just using it for stovetop and the handle's cool.
Yeah, if you just use it for stove top, sure.
But most cast iron, you can take it off the stove and put it in the oven without having to worry.
And a lot of people think cast iron is hard to take care of, and it's not. Once you're finished with it, you just take it over to the sink, run some hot water in it, get you a brush, not like a Brillo pad or anything, just a brush, and you just brush it clean, dry it off, spray it down with some pan, you're ready to go for the next time.
And that spray oil, I tend to use Crisco.
Yeah, you don't use soap and water when you clean cast iron, you just use hot water and a brush.
Unless you're trying to re-season it because it got damaged or something, then you
Well,
would
that's totally different.
go that
totally
route.
Different there.
Hey, smell the liver.
Mm-hmm. Then good. We'll just keep tossing this around till we get it all cooked up on both sides of it. Man, your potatoes still ain't started boiling yet.
I don't have them up high enough. I just want, they are boiling. They are boiling. You can see it. They're simmering. I didn't want them too high and then they end up mush while we're trying to cook this and video it.
Yeah.
I hate mashed potatoes. Nope, I did not steal an onion. Michael.
What?
It smells like it's burning. Yeah, it is.
All right. And got maybe a little bit too hot right there, but you know what that is? That's flavor. Might could have used a little bit more oil in it, I guess.
No, it's just some of those pieces are sitting there too long, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's hard to get it all flipped over, every piece flipped over. So we'll just keep it moving. I'll put that to heat a little bit. But the pan has got a lot of residual heat going in it.
Yeah, it does.
I'll go with a little bit more oil. Just a tad. Too hard. It smells so good though.
Yeah, it does already. We're not even halfway done.
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah.
How many minutes you got on that video?
14 and a half.
Really? I didn't think it would take that long to video this.
Okay, I lied. 14. I figured it'd take a few minutes, depending on how long it takes for the liver to cook.
Well, that liver's just about done because you don't want to overcook it because then it gets tough. You want to keep it tender.
You think you can reach over there and hand me a fork and I can check the potatoes?
Huh? Oops. Knock over my measuring cup.
almost done. So that worked out pretty good. I can pierce them with a fork, but they're not completely done yet. See, they're boiling now. I just made it come up to a small boil.
Alright, I would call that liver done.
Yep.
I'm going to take the liver out of the pan, just put it over here with the onion.
Whoop.
Damn, that pan is hot. There's always that one that tries
Escapes?
Yeah, they always try to escape. So now we got our liver and onions.
Well, if I can get it in the view, there we go.
Now it's time to make the sauce. Now for this marsala sauce. Boy, that's a big ass clove of garlic.
Yeah, it is.
We're gonna mash up some garlic into the pan. If you don't have a masher, you just chop these up before you start. It's always best to get all your ingredients and everything ready to go before you start.
I'm glad you can do that because I dang sure couldn't. Oh, those big old cloves.
Get the garlic in the pan, get the shallots in the pan. Oops, burning them a little bit, so you don't really want to burn.
Well, actually, that's from the liver.
You don't want to burn garlic. Burnt garlic does not taste good.
Oh, no, I don't. Well, there's a few.
Shallots and garlic going right there. Now we're going to take our cup of marsala wine. Be careful using this, like I said, it does have alcohol in it.
And it can start a stove fire if you're not careful.
Yeah, especially if you're using a gas stove where you have a flame, you got to be real careful about doing that. Alright.
Smells good.
It does. I'm going to heat back up and start getting this stuff here simmering.
It's already starting to.
Now what you want to do here is you want to get it simmering really good and try to reduce this by about half, and of course reducing the sauce concentrates its flavors, and that's where you get a good robust sauce.
But you don't want to reduce it too much and you have nothing left over. Because that can happen sometimes if you're not.
Well, the wine is the main flavor in this recipe as far as the marsala sauce. I need to turn on my overhead.
Yeah, but then you can't hear nothing.
But then you won't be able to hear it because that bastard's noisy. Can you still hear me on the video?
Can you hear me now? Oh my gosh. It's about time to throw in the mushrooms, or?
Yeah, before you reduce it too much, you want to infuse your mushrooms with it. So we're going to go ahead and toss these mushrooms in here. Of course, just like onions, Denise and I we're fans of mushrooms too.
Especially in the marsala.
My mushrooms didn't cool that pan that much. Couldn't have. Ooh, you didn't quite slice that one.
Yeah, you did, I thought.
Oh, there it is. It didn't go all the way through. Now, if you don't have shallots, you don't have to use shallots with this recipe. You can use just, garlic. Shallots is just an additional flavor. It's not a must. In fact, most of the recipes I've seen for marsala sauce doesn't have shallots in it.
Except for the Carrabba's Copycat does.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Never made Carrabba's Copycat marsala.
I did.
Just make my own marsala.
Well, I made it first time with the chicken masala, and it came out really good. But you use a whole lot of shallots versus this one's more like most of the other recipes. They have the mushrooms in it. But we decided to add the shallots for the extra flavor. I haven't been able to. I think these are done. Yep, they're done. So that's good.
Alright.
This video is hitting 21 minutes.
Is it?
Yep. Yeah, that looks reduced plenty.
The mushrooms still need to soak up some of that stuff. Get cooked a little bit more better. More better. But they're getting there alright.
Yeah, they're just supposed to, mushrooms are just supposed to brown. They're not supposed to. But it's kind of hard when you use them portobello because aren't they brown to begin with?
Yeah, last time we made this, the picture that was on Facebook, we had just used white button mushrooms because at the time that was all we had. But portobello's our idea. And if you use large portobellos, because you don't want big pieces of mushroom in your sauce, if you were to use large portobellos, you'd want to cut them in half. You know, slice them and then cut them in half so they're not so big of pieces. Alright, in goes the butter. 6 tablespoons of butter.
Nothing says I love you.
And I mean butter, not margarine, not that fake plastic crap, but butter. People who are still using margarine today are killing themselves.
Oh yeah.
That ain't nothing
That's
but
just processed, I don't know what.
it ain't nothing but processed saturated fats that they use a process in which to make it stiff. It's just grease, basically. It all is. This is butter. It's natural butter. Comes from cows. Comes from milk. You know, I do make my own butter too, but I usually reserve that for making my biscuits. That's just good, my biscuits.
Oh, the buttermilk?
The butter and the buttermilk, yeah. Homemade buttermilk. Ooh, look, see now, changing to the color there. We're getting a little bit of looking like sauce, ain't it?
Next up is everything in the pot.
Point, you wanna turn your heat down a little bit. Just give it a light simmer. Because you can if you get this too hot at this point, too much heat can break your sauce, and what that means is that the liquids in the sauce along with the fats in the sauce will end up separating on you.
Here in a couple of minutes, everybody's back in the pool.
God, that smells so good.
We're on 24 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought it would take less, but I guess some days are some days.
Well, I also doubled the sauce recipe.
That's true. So it took a little while to reduce. That goes last, remember?
Oh, that's next.
No, after all that goes back in
It
it.
goes in there now. Tell me how to make my sauce. Alright, in with the 1 cup of heavy cream. Look at that. Now we just want to reduce this a little bit more, tighten it up just a little bit more. Look at the color.
Well, on this little screen, black and white, so I don't know what the color is. I'll have to wait and see.
It does have a little screen on it. And the cream really cooled that pan down, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. That's gonna be dope.
Liver's tender as hell. Yeah, I snuck a piece.
This is gonna be dumped.
Okay.
It's almost nappe already.
Oh man, that is so good.
Yeah, it is. We'll have to buy another bottle of marsala. Took me a while to find that one in the stores. They're try not to buy cheap marsala, because if you can't drink it, you don't want to eat it.
If you won't drink the wine, then don't cook with it.
Well, I don't particularly say drink it. I mean, that's really for cooking more so.
Marsala wine's for drinking. People cook with it though.
Yeah.
It's good wine. Okay, now this sauce, this marsala sauce, you can put this on chicken. You can put it on pork chops. It's real good on a filet mignon. And of course, like we're doing today, liver.
Yeah, the kids will eat it if you. I know a lot of kids hate liver, the taste of liver.
I don't know about kids eating this stuff.
Well, I mean,
Kids
it
just
might
don't-
just break it down. It might be
Yeah.
easier for them to.
Kids just don't have that adult palate though.
No. They might say yuck. Because I know our daughter decided to, when we made liver and onions, we didn't make the marsala. And she would smother it in mashed potatoes so she couldn't taste it.
Yeah. Alright, now you can simply just plate up your liver and onions and just drizzle this marsala sauce. Of course, you'd need something other than a spatula with holes in it. Just drizzle it over your top of your liver and onions. Or do like I do and just throw your liver and onions
All back in the pool.
back into the pool
Oh, that looks so good.
and just coat everything up real good with the sauce. This also gets your onions and your liver warm back up after sitting there on that plate all this time.
I wish we had smell-o-rama or something on on videos so you can smell what's cooking.
Alright. At this point I'm not too worried about my sauce breaking. I'm going to turn it back up to a simmer. And just get all this
All warmed up.
all warmed up together. We put a lot of onions in that. Looks like there's no liver in it.
But we do like a lot of onion. I mean, we're onion people. We like onions.
Yeah, just,
But yeah, we kind of got
keep
it.
working it and get everything coated in the sauce. And of course, when you plate it up, you can always dip into the bottom of the pan, grab some more sauce, put it over the top of it once it's on your plate.
No, the first time we made it, we condensed it down to where there wasn't very much sauce left.
Well, we only used
We
a
modified it.
a half a cup of wine, quarter cup of heavy cream, and
Well,
3 tablespoons of butter. So we only made half the sauce last time, and since the sauce is so good with this, I decided I would double it up.
well, a good suggestion, you could possibly put this over like an egg noodle or even rice if you really wanted to. But
Mashed potatoes go with liver. I'm sorry, mashed potatoes is the thing.
But I've always used mashed potatoes with my liver.
I'm not a mashed potato person myself, but you know, some things it just goes perfect with, and this is mashed potatoes are perfect for this. But anyway, Denise and anybody else who was interested, my liver and onions with marsala mushroom sauce. Now we're gonna make our potatoes, mash them up, and we're gonna eat. So, bye. You wanna tell them bye, Denise?
Bye. How do we stop this though? We hit okay.
Press it to the center.
No, you hit okay. It disappears, I think.